Hello everybody, and welcome to the Idiot W123 Mechanic channel. This is my first video. I called it the Idiot W123 Mechanic channel because I'm an idiot. Not that I'm not intelligent, but when it comes to working on cars, I'm a moron. But I'm learning. I've just picked up this 300 TD wagon here. And the hood does close all the way. I've just got it kind of popped open there so I can open it up easily. A couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I purchased the sedan here. It's an 83 300D turbo, and I love the car. I mean, absolutely love it. My favorite car, best car I ever owned. And I've learned, I'm not the kind of person that's ever worked on a car, but I've learned that these vehicles are relatively easy to work on, and they're easy to maintain with a little research and a little bit of money and a lot of research. You can kind of get to the bottom of the problem usually and fix it yourself without having to pay a mechanic a whole lot of money to do it. So anyway, I'm a musician also, and I need more room than this car will give me for some of the gear I have to carry around. So I wanted to get a wagon. So I found this wagon. It's another 83. You can see same color, pretty much the same car. It's just a wagon version of it. And I got it for very little money. I'm going to attempt to fix it up. It needs a lot of work. And I'm going to sort of spend the next year tearing this thing down and putting it back together. And I thought that I would document it, document all of my mistakes, and you know, so I have a record of the progress that I make, or the lack of it. You can see there the odometer. Now I checked out the maintenance records, and as far as I can tell, that odometer stopped working in 2011, so there's no telling how many miles are actually on it. The interior is not in bad shape. The dash is not bad. It's a little warped here, which I've never really seen that happen before, but I guess it does. Maybe somebody tried to break in, or maybe it's just weathered. Most of the wood is in pretty good shape except for this guy down here. You can see it's chipped, which I'll probably see if I can't find a replacement and just replace that whole thing out. I'm not going to worry about the interior for a while. It's in better shape than I thought it was originally. I got it home and cleaned it up a little bit, and it was really rough at first because the guy who I bought it from, rather, the girl I bought it from, this was her father's car, and he, as his retirement job, jack points look good, it's rust free, very little rust on this car. It's another thing I'm surprised about. The only rust I've really seen is here on this wheel well. But anyway, the guy who owned this car died a few years ago, and so it's been sitting in a garage for a couple of years. His retirement job before he passed away was drywall, and he would basically, when I got this car, it was a disaster. It was, when you opened up this part here, this thing doesn't stay up on its own, actually. That's why that stick is there. But you couldn't even see the carpet. It was so full of drywall dust and rusty tools and just bad stuff all around. So anyway, I bought the car, and I was terrified at first because after I got it home, I realized how much stuff it needed. And so I thought about, well, maybe I'll just sell it, get my money back out of it, and buy a wagon in better condition. But I think I'm going to go for it. It's going to need, I mean, the short list is it's going to need the rear axles replaced. It's going to need some rear suspension work. which anybody who's ever dealt with these wagons knows the self-leveling suspension can be a bear to deal with. I'm going to dig into it and see what I can do. It's going to need the shifter bushings, of course. Those are, let's see if I can open this. There we go. It's going to need the shifter bushings. But even after the shifter bushings are replaced, so that you can actually, the selector switch works good, or shift selector works well, it's going to need some sort of other transmission work, because the shifting is really, what's the word for it? Abrupt. It shifts really hard going from first to second, which my sedan actually does that too. So I'm just going to dig into it. It's going to need some belts and the air filter housing bracket. Whenever you start the car up, that thing rattles and vibrates something fierce, and I'm gonna have to take that whole housing off and replace the bracket underneath. I haven't done anything to it so far except brand new battery. I did do a new air filter. I did fuel filter changes, oil change with a new filter. I have not dug into the fuel tank to see what kind of condition the screen is in. I'm sure I'll have to swap that out. The car runs and drives, but I don't trust it to go anywhere very far. So I'm going to spend, like I said, I'm going to spend about the next year. I'm getting ready to, I just cleaned out half of my garage. I'm getting ready to pull the car in. And this is where all the fun will take place. Just, you know, I'll be doing research about what tools I'm going to need, and, you know, I'm going to use this channel as a way to update everybody. I realize not everybody's going to care about this. Even what I'm 7 minutes into this video, if you're still watching this video, you're a huge nerd, just like me. And you're welcome here. So I will do my best to keep updating this and keep everybody abreast of the changes and the progress that I made. And as the title would imply, how much of an idiot I can be when it comes to these things. I'm really going to try to do a good job of pointing out my ignorance and the learning process along the way. The sunroof works. It's manual, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I wish the one on my sedan was manual. It's power. It actually works really well, but I'm always scared it's going to leave me stranded in the rain sometime and not close. I'm going to have to get in the truck and tear that whole thing apart. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. I don't know when the next video will be, but hopefully it won't be too long. Thanks for watching.